Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Most welcome. I do a lot of different things on my channel, art, and I do a little bit of singing, dancing. I do my tarot readings. I do the 13 zodiacs, not the 12. This is the original zodiacs before they switched it and changed the calendar and removed Ophiuchus, okay? If you're not sure what that is, do your research. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, recently I did a garden excavation. I kind of like dug it all up and I extended my garden, and it was a lot of work, a lot of hard work. Previous to this, I was wondering why there was issues I was having with my garden, why it wasn't really producing as much as I thought it would. And I thought it was surface level, and I even made a small video about this previously. And it turns out there were some roots from a nearby tree that were growing up underneath my shed, underneath the grass part, which I extended the garden to, all the way into my garden, and then it was like burrowing. I didn't know roots. I do realize that they go under the surface about like, I don't know, it varies, but I didn't know that they can travel and then they can kind of dig deeper and burrow. And this is what I experienced with this. The roots were yellow and they had little red lines on it. And I thought before it was birch, I said for the other video, but it might be pine. Regardless, what I was learning as I was doing this, because a lot of the times when I do hands-on stuff, I kind of zone out. I go into Akashic. I do get a lot of downloads, and sometimes I get a lot of life lesson things that come through. And the main key thing I want to talk about, most people say that it's, what is it, money is the root of all evil or something like that. I'm starting to really, truly grasp how jealousy or envy, one or the other, has a big impact on the people around us. And this started all the way back when that energy was first created, how it started, and how it's afflicted a lot of people, especially in the collective. And this is worldwide. This is galactic. Jealousy affects almost every single person on the planet. I have experienced it in my past when I was more in my teenage years, and it had to do with relationship. Okay, but there's other people that are jealous. There's so many different things, and the problem with the matrix is that it tends to capitalize on jealousy and envy. All about the materialism, all about what we have and trying to have the best thing, the newest thing, the latest thing, the most expensive thing, and trying to out compete each other in our daily society. And it encourages this and it promotes this, and it starts it early, especially with the youth. And it's really a fucking shame, because jealousy, as evil as it can turn into, should be appreciated as a lesson that we need to all learn from. Because the minute you feel any kind of jealousy, that's a lack from within yourself. That's a lack of understanding how truly abundant you are within yourself, and how much you can actually obtain and get for your own life without needing to seek outside of yourself or comparing yourself to others. Because the problem is, in the society that we live in, is there's a lot of comparison and trying to put yourself up against another person and see who has what. And a lot of the times it is material. And it's not okay. It really isn't okay, because a lot of people get into this mind frame where they have to be in constant competition with other people instead of themselves. And then I was thinking about neighborhoods and everything like that. A lot of people that go to church, good for all of you. I have nothing against anybody that goes to church or that actually follows a doctrine, or they're into their religion and they are very secure within that and they're comfortable with that. But when it comes to jealousy of others, I don't know what it says in the Bible, but I know for a fact that if you go to church and you consider yourself a God-fearing person, then loving the people next to you, your neighbors, whatever you want to call it, it shouldn't include jealousy. And if you're doing anything out of jealousy, envy, or spite, which would be a lack within self, let's say you didn't make a certain decision and it didn't get you what you wanted for your own dreams and your aspirations or anything like that, and then you see your neighbor and maybe they have something, they've created something for themselves, whether it be their own dwelling, what they have, their property, maybe their house, their car, their family life, maybe their backyard, how it's set up, anything like that. And then you have jealousy that comes in. And if you start resenting another person, or you start hating on another person, or let's say an entire community gets together, as much as they say that they are religious or spiritual or anything like that, and they claim to be that way, well, that's a lifestyle. That's a way of living. And if you're going to practice that sort of thing, then it even comes down to your own personal emotions and having to be accountable and responsible for them. And that includes jealousy. This has ruined friendships. This has ruined family dynamics. This has ruined even between siblings and stuff. This has ruined business partnerships. This has ruined a lot of things. And we need to put that on the side and realize that our ego that's trying to protect us is really not allowing us to acknowledge the amazing part of ourselves that we can be, the authentic part of ourselves that we truly are. And trying to compare yourself to another human being and seeing everything that they've worked hard for, or maybe what they have, and then comparing that to yourself and thinking you don't have enough, or having that lack mentality, as if you can't get that on your own, as if you can't do that sort of thing. Or maybe you let your dreams go, or maybe you put certain things, you sacrifice, and so to speak, certain things aside, and because somebody else living that lifestyle or living that way, which they chose, and you chose to go another way, maybe you didn't put your boundaries down, or you sacrificed certain things for your family, and you're not quite happy and motivated to believe in yourself or continue with any of your goals or your dreams or anything you really want to do. Let's say you're a creative person and your neighbor is an artist, for example, and you see them living that type of lifestyle, and all of a sudden you have a hate on for this other person, or you have resentment, and you start getting other people on board and claiming them to be a certain way. Let's say they're spiritual and you're religious, and you start using religion as a form of backlash to attack another person because of your own insecurities, because you're not living the lifestyle that you truly wanted for your own authentic self. Like, that's a good example, but most of the things that I've seen stems from jealousy. Even when it comes to money, there's a motivation there. What's the MO? Usually jealousy, wanting to have something over another, which leads to greed. When it comes to a family dynamic, and one person is claimed to be more loved than another person in the family, or more highly ranked than the other person in the family, and then some sort of resentment develops there, and it's usually stemming from jealousy, which can create a whole lot of fucking chaos and animosity in other departments, and it's just being masked as something else when really the root cause of it is jealousy. So as I'm digging in my garden and digging in the background, digging down deep, going all the way, finding out the root cause of a problem, we all need to get to the root cause of a problem, and not just like medically and the parasites and everything like that, but I'm talking about our emotions. Healthy emotions, healthy brain, that's where it starts. And if we can identify where this jealousy is coming from, when it first started, when it first afflicted you, when you first experienced it, and how you're truly feeling at the time, and why, and what it is that you need to do next to get to the next level for yourself without feeling that form of jealousy, transmuting that into something positive, using it as motivation to do what you truly love. And it's not just fake it till you make it. You really have to embody an energy of the person that you want to be. You really have to put yourself in your future self's shoes and start living that life. If you want to make changes, start small and make the changes that you need to. If you're comparing yourself constantly to other people and you're not making the changes for yourself, you're not taking accountability, and you're just focusing all your energy, time, and whatever it is, your insecurities, you're focusing all that on another person, and you're trying to inflict that on another person because you're not getting what you want. You need to go within to get what you want. You don't seek it outside yourself, and you sure as fuck don't sabotage another person. I don't condone that. Just be aware that on my channel, I do not condone trying to sabotage or hurt another person, especially through envy or jealousy. I do not condone that at all. I have witnessed it my entire life growing up, and how other people treat other people based off of envy and jealousy. And I do believe it is a root cause of a lot of things. I don't think that we should think of jealousy as like a negative thing, but I do think we should take it as a warning sign. That pure emotion of feeling that kind of jealousy or envy towards another person or about a situation or something like that, that's a warning sign for you. That's a very big warning sign that you have a lack of love for yourself, a lack of confidence within self, a lack of understanding that you are abundant. The universe is abundant. You're a part of the universe, therefore you are abundant. And if we keep looking to compare ourselves to other people and we feel like we're falling short because we're comparing to what other people have strived for or what they embody or what they are living or what they have, it's going to be a major battle within self. And right now we're going through a spiritual warfare. And if we constantly keep using envy and jealousy as a motivator to harm or do ill will to other people or wish them a certain way because we're not making the changes for ourselves, is not okay. And we can call it whatever we want to call it. You can maybe play it off like, oh, another person doesn't deserve this. Well, who gets to decide? Or another person shouldn't have this, or I'm better than that person, so they aren't privy to this, or they shouldn't have that, or I'm this and I'm that. Well, if you're truly that, then you wouldn't feel the need to compare yourself. Trust me when I say people that are in their authentic energy and they're living their lives accordingly and they're doing their divine purpose, or they are happy within themselves and they love themselves, they're not interested in comparing themselves to other people. If they see something that's really nice and luxurious, they'll be like, wow, that's really nice. Or if they see somebody succeeding and doing well, they're like, congratulations, you're doing a really good job. I'm so proud of you, and actually mean it. If they see somebody that's dressed really nicely, they'll give a compliment where compliments due. If they see somebody that has just completed something or done really well, they'll give congratulations on it. There is no envy. There's no jealousy there because you're happy within self, and there's no need to compare yourself to another person's life, what they have, what they're going through, what their achievements are, what their gifts and abilities are. There's no need for that. You really have to dig down deep. So get to the root of the problem so that we can all solve them together. We can work together on this. And there's nothing wrong with feeling jealous. If you feel jealous, call yourself out on it. Don't let it get to the extreme point. I'm not here to just like judge you and call you out and say, oh, you're a jealous person or you're an envious person and there's something wrong with you. No, it just means that you need to acknowledge it first. First off, acknowledge it. So fucking what? You're jealous. Okay. Are you going to inflict harm on another person because of it? I hope not. Are you going to do something about it for yourself? You're going to motivate yourself to achieve more of what you want or get to a certain goal, or if you want to buy something luxurious, then you take the necessary steps to get to that next level. Or are you going to try to sabotage another person? I don't condone that. I do not have respect for those that do not acknowledge within themselves certain traumas or triggers that they haven't healed from, and use that as an excuse to harm another person. I do not appreciate that in another individual. I don't believe that that is necessary, and I don't believe that there isn't another solution that could be provided. So if you yourself have experienced it, so what? If you're jealous of another person, so what? Just make sure what you're going to do next isn't to harm another person or send negative energy towards them or to try to sabotage or hurt another person. For what? Is the goal to knock them down to your level because you haven't succeeded to your full potential, which we all have? And I do believe in you, and I do believe you're a good person, and I believe you're a strong person. I do believe you can lift yourself up, and I do believe you can have everything you need and more. But is the goal to try to knock somebody down below us just to get them to what? Come to our level or come to your level? If you're not in a happy state, do you want other people to suffer and have nothing or take everything away from them just because you haven't took the initiative to do something for yourself? Do you feel like you've given up on yourself and maybe you haven't had the opportunity, or maybe there's been a lot of things put in your path to test you and you feel like maybe you've failed at those tests, so because of that you've kind of felt a little bit disheartened and defeated, and then harming others or bringing them down to your level or trying to do something to get a reaction out of them is going to make you feel better? That's not even Band-Aid material. That's not even the equivalent of a Band-Aid. That shit don't last. And I don't know how a person can sleep at night going around tearing another person down or trying to manipulate the situation to make them smaller or dim their light or to rip the rug out from underneath them or try to knock them off their high horse or see they're not as good as they say they are, see they're not as authentic, or see they're not as a good person as they said they are, or whatever. It takes a lot of self-discipline and a lot of work to get to a high status and a high point in life where you're not bothered by other people, where you're not comparing yourself to other people, where you feel confident within yourself. It takes a lot in this world, and a lot of people have worked really hard and they have gone through their own personal struggles. Maybe you can't see it on the outside. Maybe you can't see surface level of what they've gone through, and they don't maybe look like what they've struggled through, but they have kept their integrity and they have pushed forward. They've got themselves up time and time again, no matter what, because there's many other people. If you're somebody that's found yourself in the loop of jealousy or envy, there's many other people that have been where you are, but they got themselves up out of it. It's a choice. And if you choose to inflict harm on another person because of your own choices that you've made that have made you maybe not so happy, then it's time to make other choices now. It's time to take accountability and make the different choices in your life, because it's not a good excuse. Jealousy is not a good motivator, as much as a lot of people have claimed it to be. It's not. There is healthy competition and there's unhealthy competition. Then there's competition that maybe you put yourself in with another person. The other person has no idea about it. There's times where you're comparing yourself to other people, if this is you, if you resonate, and other people that you're putting yourself in competition with, they have no idea that you're doing so. Maybe they're quite content and happy with their own lives, and they are focused on themselves, which you should be, and they really had no idea that you were putting yourself in competition with them. That's not fair to another person. That's like me electing you to be, I don't know, head cheer captain or something like that. I'm electing you to do something, and I sign your name and I put your ballot in, and you didn't even ask or request to be a part of it. Or I want you head of book club or something like that, and somebody puts you as the head person and you get it, and nobody gave you permission to put another person's name in for that. Nobody gave you permission to put yourself in competition with another person. The only person that would condone that sort of thing would be your shadow side, and that is just a way of deflecting what the real issue is, the root cause of a problem, and so that you don't have to face it. Integrating with your shadow side, respecting your shadow side, respecting the energy of envy and jealousy, and knowing that it's a lesson to be learned and transmuting that without being in disgust. It's easy for even myself to be disgusted when I see other people jealous of other people and the hurtful shit that they do and the harmful shit that they do to others, setting people up just to watch them struggle or fail, setting people up or gossiping and talking shit behind their back on purpose just because you have a lack of love within yourself. I've watched it happen my entire life. I've had people do that to me, and I won't stand for it. In fact, I'll advocate even for another person if I know that other people are trying to tear another person down without just cause. It's just strictly from insecurities and unhealed traumas. So yeah, do your due diligence. Remember to love you. Please do. You're all special, okay? Every man, woman, boy or girl out there, whoever's watching, make sure that if you do get in the energy of envy or jealousy, if you're comparing yourself to another person, you need not focus on what the other person's doing. If you admire that and you appreciate that, then you can say so. You don't have to. But if there's something you want for yourself, then you need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on the next steps that you need to take in order to achieve whatever goals, ambitions, desires. Even when it comes to material stuff, what you gotta save, if you want a fucking boat, or you want a fucking new pair of shoes, or you want this or that, you don't go up to another person and just steal the shoes off them. You don't go up to another person, knock them out, and just take their hat. I know a lot of people feel the need to do that, but that was taught to them by other hurt people that didn't want to take accountability for their insecurities. Okay? Remember to love you. Please do.